All right, coaches, Coach Simpson here. Very excited about our new adventure with headsets. Calling it a newsletter, but it's probably going to be more of a magazine. It's now includes 12 coaches that have been very gracious to donate their time and a lot of their resources so that we can get good information to coaches at no cost. A lot of times you'll see free resources all over the place, but we want to make sure it's quality. And so I was able to pick out a lot of really talented coaches in the fields that they're good at. Today, I've got with me Coach Swift. A lot of y'all may know him through social media. A lot of you may have know him from the fact that he is a huge promoter of free resources for coaches to train and to get better with. And so excited to have him on board. I'm going to turn it over if you don't know who he is and give him a chance to kind of talk a little bit about himself.
So my name is Kevin Swift. I'm the recently retired head football coach at Gold Beach High School on the Oregon coast. It's a small rural high school. When I got here 25 years ago, it was pushing 300. We're down to about 125 kids now, kind of shifting from a natural resource community to a retirement community. I'm going to be doing articles on the defense that we ran here at Gold Beach for my 24 years. And I think I bring something unique in the fact that I coached the first part of my career in Division III collegiate and big high schools in Southern California, where the defenses were a lot more sophisticated. In Gold Beach, we've pared it down to meet the demands of the opponents and the demands of the weather and the demands of kids playing both ways. It's still a pretty sophisticated, complex defense for even a small school. I get a lot of credit in Oregon as an offensive guy for winning a couple state titles, but my heart and soul has always been on the defensive side of the ball. And both those championships involved shutouts, which I'm just as proud of as putting up 30 and 42 points. Like I said, I have 35 years. I just recently retired as head football coach. My daughter says I should say sabbatical because she says if the right thing comes along, I know you'll coach. I probably have a desire to be an assistant again, not a head coach, just to enjoy the game. I'm looking forward to writing these articles. It's a good chance for me to review my career and what I've done. It's kind of like a self-scout, analytical look at what you've done. And I'm proud of the body of work. I will certainly share with everybody it's not my invention. Its roots are in the University of Washington and Coach Lambright and Coach James. And then it evolved at Santa Margarita Catholic High School in the Trinity League under Coach Hardigan and Coach Hitchens. And then it, evolved at my stops in Southern California and evolved up here. When I started as a defensive coordinator at the Division III level, I was an Okie, a five-man front, and transitioned to a four-man front for a variety of reasons, which I will probably go into in articles. I love what Ken's doing. I feel blessed to be a part of it. I do believe in mentoring at no charge. I think of all the guys that sat around my parents' house breaking down film and talking football and who I learned from and the people that mentored me, and there was never a price tag given to it. And my love for the game and my love for what it does for young men has led me to this mission of trying to provide as many things for young coaches to make them prosper and make the game prosper. My intentions are to save some marriages, because I know when I was young, taking either school money or personal money to travel over the western part of the United States, searching down clinics back before virtual Zoom took over, was costly. Not only costly, it kind of, flew in the face of the companionship of what a marriage is supposed to be. So, that's important to me. I'm only as strong a coach as my family that supports and backs me. I made a comment today to somebody on Twitter that, he made a comment that his wife called him in the game and said, okay, you made your point, quit doing it. And I laughed. I said, every one of our wives is our best assistant, without a doubt. We couldn't do what we do without strong support from our families. And so anything that I can do to contribute to strengthening the family for a coach, I'm excited about doing. And so I'm going to write a series of 12 articles. Right now, the intentions is to make them all defensive based. But Ken has been gracious enough to say, if you got a week that you want to go off on a tangent, go off on a tangent. And I may do that. I'm a passionate Irish Catholic. So every now and then, tangents, or come my way. But I'm excited. I'm really excited to be doing this. So,
yeah, Coach, you did a good job explaining. I recruited good people. I think you're a head coach. You understand how that is, and so that was my goal, was to bring in the best to produce the best. Because the danger now with so much free materials, it's not always good. And so,
trust me, I see a host of it daily. But again, it's not for me to judge. It's simply, I'm the Fred Sanford of the coaching world. The tool chest is basically a storage for everything that is related to football that I can put. And then it's up to the coaches to determine how they use that, what they see as value. And, when I started coaching college football, what seems like thousands of years ago, a guy who won a national championship at USC sat me down and said, look, it's important you learn the good. It's also important that you learn the bad, so that when you are in charge, you know how to avoid the bad and keep the good. So I think that's true. I think everybody puts everything out there, and it's up for us and our individual styles and taste. I know that I get criticized all the time. You don't throw, you're not modern at all. And that, first of all, that's not totally true. We throw very effectively. Unfortunately, when you get up on somebody by 28-0 and you start working on parts of the game that you don't work a lot, and they happen to be passing, you get labeled as unsportsmanlike. So, our playbooks, both offensively and defensively, I'd feel comfortable running at a Trinity League school in Southern California, where I'm from. I think any coach, that playbook opens up to how much the kids can learn, not how much we know, but how much the kids can learn. That's something I learned from my father. You can have a playbook that, is 600 pages, but most teams might only get through 100 of it, 150 of it. And I'm a firm believer in it. We love the veer. And I think, like any other good son, my dad was one of those wing tee, unbalanced, secret handshake guys. And so you're never going to be what your father is. So, I always said I'm not smart enough to run 20 yards sideways before I start going north and south. Then I think about the veers. It's all based on north and south right away, which probably tells you a little bit more about my personality than I should let on. But
yeah. Well, Coach,
no, I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good deal. And like I mentioned, and Coach mentioned, he's got a lot of other resources out there, that you can go to and find. This will be available. This will come out to coaches if you want to get it, through email. That'll be available that way. It'll be on multiple platforms.
I'm going to put it on Draw. I'm going to put it on the tool chest. It'll have its own folder with its title, biweekly newsletter, headsets, Maybe I should call it magazine since that's what we
Yeah, it's growing. It started off when I recruited Coach into it, and what I didn't realize is, you talked about wives. My wife is the driving force kind of behind the graphics. Well, when you put someone who's a professional with it, all of a sudden it goes, in my mind, from a small, easy to now it's 45 pages of all these links. And I was like, wow, I couldn't even imagine. So I'm really excited. I've already seen Coach's first article. I've seen everyone's first article, but it'll be coming out February 14th. Valentine's. Now, Coach mentioned your wife. You might want to wait a day, so don't read it on Valentine's Day. But
yeah, it's her birthday. It's her birthday. It's the day I proposed to her. That would be bad karma. Really, really bad karma.
so it may come out on the 15th on your end, but I think it's going to be a good deal for coaches. And hey, if guys want to get a hold of you, I know you're on Twitter, but some guys may not be on Twitter. They're watching this. How else would they get a hold of you?
I just shows you how old I am. You can reach me at Kevin Swift at Hotmail. There's no numbers. There's no underscore. There's no periods. I think I got that Hotmail account in 1988. So Kevin Swift at hotmail.com is probably the best way to get a hold of me. You can DM me on Twitter. You DM me, you email me, I'll send you my phone number. I'm not really comfortable putting my
I
phone
wouldn't give it out, Coach. You're good.
video. And you can also get on the Gold Beach website. I'm still the current athletic director, although we're hoping we have athletics on the West Coast. We're supposed to start football on Monday, but we were informed there'll be an announcement from the governor on Monday. So knock on wood, I think it'll happen. I think it'll look a little bit different like everybody has this year. But I'm a big proponent that we have a pandemic called mental health with our youth right now. And we have to find a way to get them some sense of normalcy. I'm not one of those doubters that says the pandemic's not real or all that stuff. I've lost some close friends to it. But in the same token, our most powerful resource in this country has always been the youth. And I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help the youth. I come from that world where you always want to leave it better than you found it for future generations. And that means we got to be in the classroom, and that means we need kids playing athletics. And if that puts me in danger, heck, I've raised 2 daughters. How much more danger can a dad be in?
That's right. I appreciate you coming on, Coach, and I'm excited about this. And I hope the guys that are maybe listening to this, will reach out to Coach. A lot of the guys that I've brought into this are good in their subject material, no doubt, but they're wanting to mentor the next generation of coaches, like Coach mentioned. And you're a little older than me, Coach, not a whole lot more, but noticing early in my career is all about mentoring the players. And as I'm starting to age, it's now turned towards coaches. And that's really where my passion is. I know that's where your passion is. And all of the guys that I recruited into this, that's where their passion is. It's shared.
Yeah, I still think it's the greatest game played in the world. And I love being a social studies teacher. I'm a true Gemini. My kids will tell you, you're the most easygoing, easy to work with guy in the classroom, and you just turn into Satan when you get down on the field. Like, I'm a Gemini. That's the way it's supposed to be. But my passion for the lessons that the game teaches, I look at the kids now that have been out of school 10, 15 years, and I'm so proud of what they've accomplished. They're successful businessmen, they're law enforcement, they're firemen, they're Marines, they're great fathers, they're contributing to the community. My first all-league linebacker, all-stater, is now on our school board. I love the game, but I think I love the game the most because it's a vehicle for success for young people to become successful adults. There's so many lessons that are taught on the athletic fields and on athletic courts that you just possibly can't teach in a classroom. And so that opportunity to bring those life lessons, to bring those values that I think are important to our nation, there's not a better setting in the world to do that than on a football field.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach.
So
Absolutely. Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. And I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here, guys. But if you want to reach out to Coach some more, make sure you follow him on Twitter. You can reach out to him on Hotmail. Of course, you can find his articles coming out here next week, 12 of them, which I think are going to be awesome.